There's a saying, if you allow your passion to become your purpose,
it will one day become your profession.
Our job is to give people the opportunity at the fish of a lifetime. But on our days off,
it's our turn. So here we are at the beginning of fall, and rainy season's over, and now we're looking for a different look. And Jeremy and I got to talking about a couple of things that we can do that we don't always get to play with, and we had to look at some of the river systems, and there's tarpon and there's snook and even largemouth bass to be caught.
As fall approaches, we get these mornings where dew point and air temperature are very similar or the same, and that allows for an opportunity for fog.
Running down the river in the fog was a bit sketchy, because we knew just from fishing there before, what lies beneath. And there's stumps, there's boats, there's all kinds of debris, and after all that heavy flooding that we had in the river system, things change. So running that Maverick, I love that Maverick. I didn't want anything to touch it for certain, but sometimes with some great risk comes great reward, I guess. As this water's just rolling around this bend, it's super shallow here. It's like 2 feet deep here.
Right.
But I think on that edge, don't you think it's probably 4 or 5 feet?
At least, and you can see where it's dumping out of this pond right here. I bet you that right in there is 6, 7, 8 feet deep.
Yeah.
Because of the current flow. That's where the fish are gonna be, is in that deeper edge.
Yeah, and as the water continues to go out, we saw fish all the way back. Look at that,
Like
one just busted right there.
In a foot of water.
So all that bait's coming out of that little flooded area, and they're just right there ready to chew.
We showed up and fog was there, morning was beautiful. You could hear the fish popping, you could hear the birds eating. I mean, it was right. In your mind when it's right. And it was that feeling altogether that it was just right. Sometimes you can almost see them when they raise up. There he is. Yep.
Yeah, baby. Still got him?
I got him.
Yeah, man. All right, let me get right behind.
For how long? Coming up.
Oh, that's a good one too, buddy.
Great fish.
Man, they got so much power in this current, don't they?
Well, stronger than the average bear in a 3-knot current. And he feels that way. He feels like it too.
Oh,
I'm trying to bow to him. Actually, I've got my drag kind of low here.
That's okay. That's all right. You got 30 or 40 pound leader?
Let's not talk about that right now.
Okay.
Coming at you, Jay.
Come on, open your mouth. Come on, open your mouth. There we go, I got him.
Good stick.
Got him.
Your free spool.
All right, hooks out.
Look at that beautiful fish, man.
Look at that.
So,
wow.
that's about a keeper snook.
Yeah, it would be, all right?
Now up here, you can still keep them where we are.
Yeah.
Even though there's a closure, we're not gonna do that, obviously.
No.
Every one of these counts for reproduction.
Well, one of the things that we noticed too is the color of these fish. They almost have that little bronze looking color to them.
Yeah, like they've got a little redfish mixed in with them.
Yeah, but this water is so fresh that, I mean, literally it's 100% fresh.
Taste it, it's all
Yeah,
fresh.
yeah.
There's definitely,
there's no question
There's no
it's fresh.
salt at all in here.
The cool thing is you just face these guys into the current.
Yeah, they stay
It
oxygenated.
does all the work for you.
I can hear fish crashing
Gone.
across the bend.
Dude.
Hey, man. Good way to start that morning right there, bub.
One of the things that Jeremy and I noticed is the amount of tilapia that were coming down the river. You know, we've always been told, you know, we don't get a lot of opportunity to fish up in the rivers, but one of the things we were told is you can always kind of see, as long as the water comes into the banks of the river, it concentrates those bait fish, and that would be those tilapia specifically. Many times you would see that snook or that tarpon just absolutely blast it.
There he is. He ate it right at the boat. I can't even get any leverage on him. This is one of those redfish snooks.
It's got that color, right?
He sure does.
Oh yeah. Oh dude, he ate it too.
I can't even see my plug.
I hardly even see, yeah.
So you can get that big girl, keep swinging on you. I'll get this guy.
Man, did he ever eat it.
Whoa, J-Lee Dental Services, baby. Oh, there he goes. He's ready.
Hell yeah, baby.
So I think one of the things that you hear a lot about is that in the winter time, a lot of fish push up these rivers because the water's warmer up in these rivers. But it's actually quite common for these fish to push up these rivers in the summertime because of the rains that we get way out in the middle of the state will find their way through those river systems and dump out into the harbors like Tampa Bay, Charlotte Harbor, places like that. And these fish will flow against the current because they know there's fish and bait and food flowing with the current. So they'll come up those rivers and get into the middle of the state where it's all fresh. There's no salt water there. And it's a really neat thing to catch saltwater species in freshwater. Come on.
There he is.
Baby tarpon. Coming right at us, Jay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, this is gonna get ugly. Watch yourself.
Keep him out of the boat. Okay. Okay.
All right, careful of those trebles, bud.
Woo!
Uh-huh. I know first aid, just in case. Beautiful. Awesome, Jay. That's about as cool a fish as we get to play with.
That's friggin' awesome.
People come from thousands of miles to catch the big ones. I like these a lot.
The back of these tarpon are almost black. So having that completely different look, you know, you grab a hold of that little juvenile tarpon and you just look at him, it's like, wow, this is actually where they come from. That's the cool part about that fishery is where, you know, you're almost starting right in the beginning of their life and seeing what it is that they're responding to and to get that catch next to the boat, it was incredible. J-Lee, that was clutch.
That was awesome, man.
And when he ate it, straight to the sky.
Well, I thought I was gonna be wearing him for a minute there. It's not very often for me in my area that I guide the smaller tarpon. I'm typically guiding the bigger tarpon, call it April through July, into August sometimes. And those little tarpon, in my opinion, are much more fun. They're more acrobatic, if you can believe that. They're actually more pretty, I think. They're a beautiful fish, and it's almost one of those fish that you just don't really want to touch and you take really good care of because it's such an important species, and you know what it's going to grow into and what it's going to turn into over the span of its life. I mean, a tarpon lives for 50, 60 years sometimes, so to catch them when they're little like that is really special.
The option of exploring is really a cool thing to really sink your teeth into because, as you know, I spent a lot of time in that saltwater environment, and to put that Maverick into that freshwater, for one, I think the boat loved it, but it's a really cool thing to do, to be able to get into and explore a river system that you don't spend near enough time in, and to try and figure it out. With that said, any day on the water is a good day. So, you know, I encourage anybody to really just get out there and do some exploring. You know, maybe not spend so much time in the same A and B spot. You know, try to stretch your wings a little bit and try to find some other places to fish.
The special thing about this particular trip was that we're not far from home. We're not far from the saltwater that we spend 95% of our time on. Yet we're in a completely different world, to be quite honest. It's a place where, you know, when you want to stop and have a little something to eat, or the fishing gets slow, it starts getting hot out, you pull over to a beach and there's deer tracks, and there's prints from hogs, and there's, you know, gators on the banks. I mean, it's just a really neat place. It's old Florida. It's something that as I was a kid, I kind of grew up in. So to come back to it in this form is really special to me. And it's something I'm going to be doing a lot more of, that's for sure.